they were. That's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown them. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
They are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook. We all got a little bit snookered going into 2018 Monster Energy Supercross this year. I think most people expected the odds-on championship favorites to be either Eli Tomac, Ken Roczen, or Marvin Musquin. And now all three are basically eliminated from title contention just 6 rounds in due to crashes and or injuries. Yes, we thought going into this season that you could expect the unexpected. The Ryans were retired. Things were going to get crazy because no one else in the field had really proven they could deliver this title. But was that just hype? Was that just speculation? Was that over-analysis? Apparently not. Tomac has now become a win-or-crash guy. I mean, that's literally what the stat sheet shows. And I wonder, I picked this guy to win so many titles, and sometimes he does come through, but many times he does not. And I wonder why. Why do I keep falling for it? I think here's the reason on Tomac. You see, when I think of win-or-crash type dudes, I think of 2 riders. I think of Damon Bradshaw, and I think of James Stewart. But they kind of hung the Checkers or Wreckers reputation right around their neck. They practically wore it as jewelry, like a tattoo on their forehead. Bradshaw would literally say, I'd rather crash out than settle for second. And Stewart pretty much said the same thing. He was not going to change his style. He was the fastest man on the planet. Tomac doesn't act like that. Tomac's the grinder, the blue-collar, quiet, unflashy guy who just lives out in the woods in Colorado away from all the hype. You wouldn't think of him as the type of guy who would be branded as inconsistent. And to make things even stranger, every Tomac situation is different. Some of the incidents aren't even his fault. But the bottom line is every time we think he's about to take control and dominate, something weird inevitably happens. Then there's Roczen, who I think tried so hard to not make the mistake that he did last year. It might have even cost him the wins in Houston and Oakland, when he might have been a little hesitant to pull the trigger, might have been thinking big picture, finish on the podium, it's okay, I want to win, but I'm not going to risk it all for it. And then one mistake. Cooper Webb ran it in on him. He tried to get Webb back. Now, we'll never know exactly what was in Kenny's head and heart. Was he trying to block pass Cooper in that corner? Was he just trying to pass him back? It doesn't matter. He was too aggressive. He came in too hot. He ends up crashing. You never saw Ryan Dungey or Ryan Villopoto do that. Now, it's a good thing that Roczen's not really mangled from that crash, but he'll presumably miss at least Arlington this weekend. So that makes his title hopes look very dim. Then we have Marvin Musquin. We knew he had one liability coming into the season, and that was the whoops. And that has claimed him at round 2. So that leaves us with Jason Anderson sitting on a gigantic 28-point lead already. And boy, am I glad we put Anderson in our preseason video alongside those other 3 as the true potential title contenders for 2018. Now, Anderson, you would also think, has a reputation for being inconsistent. He rides aggressively, he's got the jersey hanging out of the back, his riding style is just wide open all the time. When you look deeper, he's not really an inconsistent guy. You can type in on YouTube right now, Jason Anderson crashes, and you won't find some crazy highlight reel of wild wrecks. He's been scheduled to race 57 450 Supercross races since entering the class full-time in 2015. He's never missed one of those 57 with injury. He's only finished out of the top 10 in those 57 races 4 times. And he also had that one race. He was DQ'd last year for a run-in with Vince Freese. But the bottom line is this. He really hasn't been inconsistent. He really hasn't been crash or injury prone. And he probably took some risks to get that victory at Oakland because it was dangling right in front of him. But he won't need to take as many of those sitting on a gigantic points lead. I really think any inconsistencies he's had in the past were based more on being an inconsistent starter and having to work his way from, say, 9th to a 3rd or 4th place finish. He's been a little bit better off the gate this year. He's been much better as far as trying to be precise and managing himself most of the time out on the track. So that leaves us with only one more question to answer on Anderson. He has now shown that he can mature, he can put in the work, he can mold himself into a championship-type rider. There is no doubt of that. Just leaves us with that one fundamental question that we started this year with. Since no one in the field had really proven they could go 17 rounds and lock it down consistently to win this title yet, we have to apply that blanket statement to Anderson. Is he going to still experience some growing pains and take on some lumps and learn some lessons en route to this title? Or is he actually just as consistent as he's actually already been? For everyone else, they are who we thought they were. For Anderson, we might be finding out that he is as well.